there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of the Automated Millionaire video/podcast channel. This is Michael Pitzner, and I'm also known as the Automated Millionaire. I'm the founder and creator of the programs and courses and the coaching offered via the Automated Millionaire. I help small and medium-sized businesses of all kinds of industries, and I help the business owners and their team make more money with the business that they have. And I do so without them having to need to work harder. And I do this by implementing a system, a unique system that I call the Automated Millionaire Business System. Now, currently we are in a series of episodes where we're looking at the secrets that I have extrapolated from what is it that makes this system such a success. I have personally introduced and implemented this system with over 100 companies all throughout the United States and Canada. And these companies were of all kinds of industries. So you have anything from grocery stores to funeral homes, appliance stores to concrete services, to fencing contractors, to house painters, to HVAC companies and audio video stores, and you name it. The businesses are typically in that range of the small to medium size. So I say that the ones that have the most benefits are typically businesses that employ a certain amount of people. So, 10 would be a good number or more. And the reason being that when we have a sizable business and we have enough people, we have so many moving parts in the equation that a system such as this one really comes into its value, into its worth, and really helps you as a business owner and your team to actually manage the business in such a way that you get a much more fluid daily operation, and also you're left with much greater results. You see, part of the system, there are elements that actually helps you go and find cash in the business. What I've come to learn after helping so many businesses in the trenches on site and hands-on is that pretty much all businesses have a lot of cash, quote unquote, laying around in the business. It's like spillage, it is production delays, it is inefficiencies, it is an opportunity in price development that was overlooked. There's so many different things that make up where this cash is. The way this system works that I implement with the clients is that it actually helps you identify where is that next thing. Now, in the previous episodes, we've touched a little bit upon those. We call them also looking for the undesirable outcomes. So it's typically places where this happened again and it's costing you money and it's really annoying and it's, you're getting really aggravated over it. Well, if you have some of those things in your business, you can probably rest assured that there is money involved too. There's an opportunity if you can fix the issue that causes it, that then you'll actually make more money. So that's part of what I'm saying. There's cash laying around in your business. You just got to identify where it is and what to do about it and how to set it up in the system that makes it so that the employees, they actually go and take care of it, and that you as a business owner, whether you're active in the daily operations or not, that you can oversee that things are actually progressing, that the issues that you have identified are actually taken care of, and that you are reaping the reward in a cash sense that you had quantified with your team that was involved in the problem. So if you're fixing the problem, you should reap that cash, the benefit, the improvement in the business, and so on. The way, as you can maybe understand here, is also that the way the system is working is that it actually also gets a team member up and they perform the daily task, what they need to do, almost by automation. So it fits very well in with the brand name of the Automated Millionaire. And I can tell you this system, like I said, not only have I implemented it with over 100 of the companies that I have dealt with in person, but I've actually had colleagues that have helped over 1,000 colleagues. We were about 1,300 business consultants that used similar framework of a system successfully with, as far as I know, over 300,000 companies all throughout United States and all throughout Canada. You can use the system also for a business that does not employ a lot of people and is a smaller size and so on. But to be honest, the way I see it, it seems like as we grow, the more we mess up, the more we can correct a few things. And that's why also I have been able to sometimes come in, as you have heard in other episodes, as a business turnaround agent. So in other words, I was sent in to help businesses that were ailing to such a degree that they were actually in the 11th hour. They were so close to having to throw in the towel and maybe declare bankruptcy. And yet I was able to go in as a business consultant, or as I call it in such a situation, as a business turnaround agent. And without actually knowing much about the business, or maybe even without really knowing the industry very well, I was able to help the team to transform the business very rapidly within a few weeks, maybe a few months, and put it back onto a path of prosperity. And even so, that I at the same time came in at a rather expensive price in terms of the investment. I'm saying that with a certain caution, because yes, the investment was very large, but when you have a large investment and your return on your investment is solid. So typically speaking, from the experiences that I carried out, it was typically that for every dollar the business owners put in investment with us, they would gain a benefit in cash in their business within another 12-month period of about 4 to 7 times. That is the typical range, the average range that I saw. Our guarantee was that we would double their money. So for every dollar they spend, that we would at least find $2 back in value to them in real cash over the course of 12 months following the end of an engagement. Anyways, we have a couple of things that I wanted to touch base on, and we mentioned it to some degree, but I want to really emphasize and spell it out. So again, we're looking at these secrets that really makes the difference between why is it successful. So one of the things that I wanted to stress out here and kind of call it a secret on its own is that a very good business consultant, a very good business turnaround agent, or indeed a very good business owner, they follow up. They follow up and they follow through. If we agreed that you were going to do something, last week and it should all be wrapped up until this week, I need to, as a business owner, or you need to, as a business owner, make sure you check in and see, was this done? Was it done to the extent that you agreed upon? What was the result and outcome? Did we do the extra production of widgets? Did we do the extra sales? Did we convert more leads? What is it that we did? Did we save some money because we made a better efficiency in the business, or what it is we implemented? So the follow-up and the follow-through is key. And I've mentioned in previous episodes, we mentioned also about sales, the more sales calls you do, that's when you begin to have the real sales. The most salespeople, they will call once, maybe in general, they'll gain a 1% of the sale available. Then a few people they call twice and they'll gain another 1%. But it's the people who call 5 times or more who typically reap the rewards of gaining 85% of the sale. But there's so few people who actually go to that length. They kind of feel embarrassed, they kind of feel shy and so on. With the business and the fixing of a business, it's the same thing. We need to follow up. So that leads me back to some of the earlier secrets that we talked about. We talked about establishing a management team. And you probably have one already. We talked about make sure it's the right people in the right seat, make sure they have the right qualification. Think more about the roles that needs to be fulfilled as opposed to the person that you have in the seat. So you need to make sure that the role is fulfilled. We talked about establishing weekly team management meetings, and see, that is where you then follow up on everything. We spoke about in one of the most recent episodes, we spoke about metrics. So we identify what is it we need to do. Those are the action steps, but also to how big an extent. Was it like, okay, we need to cut down an hour of spending in, wrapping up the day and cleaning up, so we have maybe 1 more hour in production instead. it would be something about, are we producing more widgets in the same day, in a given day? So instead of producing, 500, maybe we can do an extra 5%. So maybe we do 525 widgets in a day. But again, it comes back to the weekly management team meetings. That's where you follow up, and you follow up on the metrics and see, by this token, a lot of the daily operation actually becomes pretty much running on automation. Because when the manager of the individual areas comes up and reports on the numbers, that person does not want to come up and say, we did not do what we were supposed to do. They don't want to do it too often, for sure. And they don't want to come short either. So you have a self-correcting mechanism for behavior and for performance, and also so that you actually end up having the improvements in the business that then spills into the cash that you are hoping to gain also from the efforts. So that was the extra secret I wanted to touch base on in this episode. I want to make sure that we hit hard on that. I wanted to also say that the other part that a business owners that we follow up with is that we also use the P&L, so the profit and loss statement, and we also use the balance sheet, make sure that we keep an eye on the balance sheet. And then ideally we'll have a budget also, so we can see, are we also taking advantage of, are we meeting the budget, or maybe even exceeding the budget in a positive way. We spoke about in a recent episode, we spoke about that these last few reports that we spoke about here, the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, and the budget and so on, those are like a lagging metrics, a lagging measure to look at. Now the budget may be a leading because you're looking into the future, but at the end of the day, it becomes much more of a stationary report that then now you say, well, that's where I want to go, and here's the roadmap to get it, and then you're measuring on a monthly basis, are we meeting that? The very key measure that we have talked about previously also is the cash management report, that we then can see, well, when we are identifying a problem area that we are setting about to fix, we are also making some good quality judgment and calculation about, well, how big of an effect is this on the cash flowing in and on the cash flowing out? How big? How soon? Does it go up? Does it increase gradually or exponentially? Does it decrease, one or the other, and so on? In other words, the entire effect of what we are doing, we want to kind of make calculation and foresee what is that supposed to look like in our cash flow. The cash flow, seeing that we want to then update that, have our bookkeeper update it every Monday morning. So now we start as a business owner and a team, we can look at the cash flow and we know exactly what the entire week is supposed to look like. And we can see, what it's supposed to be in terms of cash for the next 13 weeks. And so now it becomes a leading metrics. It helps you say, well, if we're doing all of these things, which you're following up with your management team meeting every week, then you can say, well, we're meeting all the criteria, we're meeting all the metrics that we set out, which means also that, well, now we can predict that we're actually going to get the outcome that we look for. If we're coming up short, we can kind of predict that, okay, well, we either need to correct it or we will not meet the goal that we set out. Or if that cannot be corrected, then we need to see, well, what else can we do in the business? Now, the great thing is that it all becomes a Kaizen mechanism, meaning taken from the Japanese philosophy of ever improvements. So you keep looking for more things, and it's typically very easy to do so by just walking around in your business. By, if you have a production, you walk the production facility, you speak with people, you look at the gadgets, the widgets coming out at the end and so on, and you quickly have small little questions, and these questions, listen intently to the answers, and you'll typically find that there's something here that we can maybe improve upon. And then you'll speak with maybe even the people who are producing it, who manning the machines or whatever it is they are doing in their roles in the business. Doesn't have to be a production company, let me be absolutely certain. Like I said, our businesses that we've helped have been spanning all kinds of industries. In fact, I cannot really recall anything that it hasn't worked upon. I can't imagine anything it doesn't work upon. This system here does not really require you as a business owner to really be knowledgeable of the actual trade. But like I said before, you're probably already an excellent tradesperson in the trade that you're operating. And I could probably not give you anything to improve upon that from that perspective, from perspective of the trade and the knowledge of the trade that you're in. But from the perspective of the business, the beauty of a system such as this is that it is repeatable. And I saw that firsthand by helping so many businesses, and I still help a lot of businesses. It's repeatable. I've seen that as proven by my about 1,300 colleagues who have helped more than 300,000 businesses collectively over the course of, I believe it's 25 years span of that company. Today, like I said, I am offering the knowledge and the course and the programs and coaching, so you're not left behind in the trenches all by yourself. But I'm offering all of that via my business system that I call the Automated Millionaire Business System. When you would like to know more about that, by all means, I urge you to look at the website, my website, theautomatedmillionaire.com, and just look for the Automated Millionaire Business System. If you need to reach out and speak with me or have a communication more in depth about, is this a good system for your business, I'll be happy to spend some time with you and looking at that to make sure it's a good fit. I have no intention of trying to sell any system onto a company that I kind of feel like, it's not a great fit, or the investment for you would be too high compared to how much money I believe that you can gain from implementing this system. Like I said, if your business is too small, it might not be really warranting, or maybe you can't really make it the cost-benefit analysis of your investment compared to how much can you gain out of the business. But I would say any businesses that operate from a $600,000 yearly sales and upwards, so typically, the span goes up all the way to $30 million companies, $30 million sales a year. That's a good realm where this system really, really has proven its worth, and again, across all kinds of businesses and industries. With this, I also like you to know that there is currently a free training that much more detailed, but very rapidly actually goes through and draws out in a diagram, maps out what is the step of each of the parts of the system. I think it'll become much more clear for you when you watch that training. And so again, just go to my website, theautomatedmillionaire.com, and there is a tab in the navigation that says free training or no cost training. So currently, at least, they may change later on and maybe another training down the road, but right now, at least, it is all about this system, the Automated Millionaire Business System. And again, like I said, I actually draw out on a whiteboard, I draw out each and every single step. And so it might be a very good way if you followed some of these episodes, or if you're just new to this episode here, then welcome by all means. But I urge you actually to go back and listen to all the others. And even more so, maybe you'll go and watch that training because it becomes much more clear. And it's about the actual training or so is about an hour long and so on. But it very, very easily maps it out. So then now you can see, oh, that's how the whole system is put together. Anyways, let me cut this off for today. Thank you so much for showing up. I really, truly appreciate you. And I hope I'll see you in future episodes. Again, for more resources, go to my website, theautomatedmillionaire.com. And I hope that you might consider hitting a like button and subscribing to the podcast or the YouTube channel or wherever you may have seen or heard this episode. And again, like I said, please go to the website, theautomatedmillionaire.com, where you can avail of more goodies and free resources. This was Mikhail Pitzner, also known as the Automated Millionaire, and I hope I see you in next episode. Thank you so much.